Recording
We,
is
we,
started now.
we.
We.
It's like a
And
sync and sync.
alright, next I should probably also stream. I didn't have music for Ian's thing, so I'm gonna correct that mistake by having some ambiance.
I thought it was pronounced ambience.
It's
It's
pronounced.
pronounced Arkansas.
And consider my pet peeved.
So,
Alright, so without further ado, let's get on to the thing. So Nora, after spending years and years just wandering across the many lands of the Grand Continent, found herself thinking back to her mother and how her actions led to the establishment of a terrible cult that seemed to infest the dreams and take over the minds of people all over the world. Feeling that she owes something back and not wanting to wish a terrible curse such as the one put on her onto anyone else that exists, she has decided to travel back to her home in attempts to figure out exactly where, when, and how her mother and her father were infected by the terrible whispers of the Nyarlathotep. I almost had it.
so close.
And after a relatively straightforward and uneventful journey, she found herself back within the northern section of the Howling Mountain Range, and climbing through and through the rough cobblestone steps, she finds herself back within the Terraspin Temple, the monastery, where the Kame Sennin turtle helped her in her journey as a monk to heal and seal away the terrible Lovecraftian demon deep within her mind. As she approaches the mountain range, she notices at the front of the temple, the sort of like huge stone facade, a group of goblins seem to be making a ruckus out in front of the door. And as she's walking up, she sees her old turtle sage walk out and address the goblins thusly. "Oh, hello, little ones. What can I do for you?" "Give us the beer! Give us the beer, turtle!" "Oh, I'm sorry, but I can't give you any more. Or that beer is, still fermenting. It's not exactly ready yet. Give us the beer, turtle, or we will take it by force. There are hundreds of us, and only one of you. You cannot keep it away forever." "Sonny, I am an old man. I've lived for little under 1,000 years. I don't give a fuck if you try anything. Just leave, and I promise you I will give you some beer later." And then the turtle just kind of raises his head up and he goes, "Oh, Nora, Nora, is that you? Hello, Nora." And all the goblins just kind of turn around and look back. And they see as you are sort of like approaching the steps to the mountain temple. Alright, so you guys haven't entered the temple just yet. You're sort of walking up now, and the turtle and the group of goblins are just standing outside the temple door.
And what is the appearance of the turtle?
Let's see here. He's a very sage sort of. He looks like a very old man type turtle with kind of this black ebony shell that has like a little bit of like, green mossy stuff growing on the fringes of it. And he often walks with a kind of knobby wooden cane and stuff like that, and a mandolin strung onto his back.
And what is a turtle? I actually don't.
Oh, what is turtle? They're a race of hardy turtle people.
Oh, okay.
Here, I put something else in your journal to give you a better idea.
Ah, perfect. Okay.
And as you're sort of walking closer, the turtle just kind of like slowly marches past the goblins, who are just kind of like giving him the like, why are you ignoring us? And then he's just coming down to greet you. He's like, "It's been so long. How are you, dear?" And he's like, being a halfling, he's not quite towering over you, but you still have to kind of look up to greet his like very long, leathery face.
It's kind of like how I would look up to like a 8-foot basketball player.
Exactly.
Oh, I've been well. I've been well. I've just been traveling. And I've just been trying to look into my origins, my curse, and everything.
Did
Just
you?
trying to get a better light of it.
Oh, that's good. Come in, and we will get you some tea, and you can tell me all about your adventures. And he takes your hand, and you just kind of like walks you towards the door, and as he's trying to open it, one of the goblins starts rushing in, and in a swift, surprisingly speedy movement, the turtle whips his leg back and just sort of like donkey kicks him back down the staircase. Like I said, boys, you may get your beer later, but you have to have patience. And then you two enter in, and he closes the monastery doors behind you. And just before he does, you hear, "You haven't heard the last of the cyber goblins!" And then he just closes it, and then just draws down a huge log barricade bar down onto the door slats. It's like, oh, such troublesome creatures. And
Is that going to be an issue?
oh, they're not an issue so much. They show up every like week or so demanding alcohol and stuff like that. I indulge them as much I can, but well, you know the secrets of brewing. The beer is only good after it's been left to its own devices for a while. But of course, that doesn't stop them from trying. Why, just the other day, and he starts walking slowly down the staircase toward the courtyard where you do your like outdoor training, stuff like that. They tried to attack me with this huge war machine. I don't know where they got it. It was like a trebuchet or something, and he gestures over to a pile of wood. And they brought it in to the side here, and they threatened me to give them everything in the barrel house. And it almost worked, up until they shot one of their friends into the side of that mountain over there, and then you look across the way, there's this like brownish-green stain on the side of one of the hills, the rocky hills out there. But, sad, I was able to take care of them fairly well after that. Sad to see him go, he was actually kind of a nicer one. But I have the thing here for extra wood and rope and stuff like that.
Can I make a investigation check on the war machine and see just like what was all about it?
Sure, go ahead.
A whopping 8.
A whopping 8. Okay, so you can basically tell that it's a relatively new war machine. Like, it doesn't have any like rotting wood or frayed ropes or anything. It actually looks like it might have been freshly stolen or freshly bought from a manufacturer, because very clear on the side of it is a copper plate stamped with Barrett's Manufacturing onto it. Lore drop. But yeah, Kame-Sennin basically says it says it's true. He's been systematically and dismantling it just to use the extra parts. There's actually a pile of lumber off to the side. There's an assortment of ropes and pulleys and wooden cogs, as well as a few springs lying around and some like iron screws.
I didn't know you were so much into engineering.
Well, it's not so much I'm into it, it's just I don't really have use for what was it they called it, a trebuchet? So I'm probably gonna use it to make a sailboat or something. Don't have much for a sailboat here in the mountains, but it'd be nice to have. And then he just starts walking slowly forward. And you actually notice that the monastery is surprisingly empty. The last time you were here, you remember it being fairly full of other monks that would just kind of go out and about learning from Kame-Sennin.
So, not a lot of business recently, huh?
Well, see, as seasons change, so do people. Some people stay here for a long time, some people stay here for a short time. I just teach them whatever I can and help them however I can. He's just stepping forward down here. So, tell me about your adventures. What exactly are you coming back to this area for?
Oh, I've been far and wide to the mountains, to just a lot of different places, just definitely exploring my map making. And well, the other day I was just stumbling upon one of the maps and I realized that it was very close to, I wouldn't consider it a home anymore, but definitely, well, a place of origin, a place that troubles me. And it just got me thinking on, well, I feel like it's time to step up and maybe make sure that that doesn't spread anywhere else.
You're speaking of Madame Chamberlain's cult, yes?
Yes, Mother's cult.
I haven't heard from the Brotherhood of the Waves in so long. I don't know if they're still around, looking for your mother. But I imagine if we did see them, they would have mentioned something about it.
Do you think they possibly joined another organization or another belief, or?
Possibly. I know they were quite involved with the Brotherhood of Souls, so they might have joined forces, but being high up in the mountains, I wouldn't really know. And as you kind of come to the center of the path here, you notice over here the beer house is what Kame-Sennin calls it, which is actually just a very cool and damp cave where he stores most of his ales to ferment and stuff like that. Out here, this is the wheat and barley field where he gets most of his hops and stuff like that. Then over here is the massive garden of sand where people would like tend to it, draw out lattice patterns and stuff like that, and also sit and meditate on various stools and stuff like that. And then over here you see Kame-Sennin's shack where he goes to like live and sit and stuff like that. Alright, are you a fan of jasmine tea?
Well, I do enjoy a lot of different cultural refreshments, so I'm willing to try anything.
One of the Good Samaritans came up to the temple gate and gave me some the other day. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful, relaxing. And he goes to, like, start brewing. You notice, basically, his shack is completely unchanged from the last time you were here. He still has, like, a nice comfy rug to sort of curl up onto. He has a small chest of, like, belongings, a barrel full of, like, basic cloth.
Straight up
like,
pot.
Yeah, just pot. A barrel full of, like, cloth and everything that he just uses to kind of, like, change out, so he's wearing something slightly different every day. And then he has a little, like, wash tub that is empty right now, but he uses it to kind of, like, scrub down his shell and everything. And he takes a seat on the carpet with his little tea stand, and he starts brewing tea with you. Now then, have you had any problems with this? And he kind of gestures to the scarred half of your forehead where the horn juts out.
Oh, this, nothing recently. It's more just kind of like a, well, I can contribute it to, like, basically a scar at this point.
So it is fading over time. That's good.
I even, like, do this little, like, flicking motion. Like, just like nothing.
Now, so I have to ask, what is the first step as far as what you plan to do with finding your mother? Is it to go back to the plateau? Because I feel like she might not be there.
Well, I haven't thought that far yet. That's why I kind of came here, to fill my mind, to think through it, have another opinion from someone who I respect greatly. I guess, do you have any recommendations?
He sort of like pauses for a moment just to think deeply, and go ahead and turn up your mic because you're a little quiet.
I will shout.
Oh. Well, I hate to suggest this, but the only lead we could possibly have is from your friend that's locked away in there. what was it called? The Nyopotep, or whatever the hell. That is your strongest connection to your mother's cult. And if she is out there searching for more people to indoctrinate, you might be able to get information from him. Otherwise, you'll probably have to just go back to the plateau for clues. And being gone for so long, time probably changed a few things there, and there wouldn't be much of a scent to follow.
So it's either full tilt or I just slowly.
Yeah. So the option here is you can either go back to the plateau itself, or you just dive in the deep end and get more direct results. And Kame-Sennin is more than willing to help you get to that point of meditation, because from his teachings the last time you were here, he basically told you all that you needed to know to lock away and silence the Nyarlathotep within you. So it has never been a problem for you at any point in the past after he taught you meditation techniques.
You know what? I'm not gonna get anywhere with just wandering around. I guess I'm gonna have to talk to it.
Go ahead and drink this tea. And he hands you a nice warm cup of jasmine tea.
I just literally so. And this is me thinking in the moment, improving. Nora's very awkward, considering the fact that she was raised by cultists and then just everything in her life. She's just gonna look at that cup. She's gonna like try to put her whole mouth around it and just take one big swig, like a shot.
It's funny because being a halfling, it's not to the size of a halfling, so she's just fucking off. Alright, go ahead, you know, roll I don't know what this would be rolled as.
Performance?
Not performance. Actually, yeah, we'll go performance to see if you can do this.
Okay.
Gracefully, I guess.
Oh, God, wait. Hold on. Because this is something with learning. Learning either halfling or... Do I get an extra roll on anything? Does I'm a halfling? Or is
Don't.
monk or a halfling?
I'm pretty sure halflings have the luck feat if you chose to take that.
Maybe stupid. Let me just double check to see if I have that. If I don't, it's gonna be an incredibly... It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be funny. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I am lucky.
I'm pretty sure that's intrinsic.
Yep. Yeah, I'm lucky. Okay. So let me re-roll. Thank God. 19.
Alright. As if it were a shot glass, you just go like, yow. And then, after you take the shot, Kame-Sennin just kind of stands up, and he still has his cup of tea, and he's just basically sipping it as he walks you slowly back over to the garden. And he kind of places you down right before the huge lion turtle statue.
A giant enemy spider.
A giant enemy spider. And then he kind of like sits down in front of you on the sand, and he just pulls out his mandolin and he starts plucking away at it. And he's like,
Leaves from the vine. I just start falling.
No, we're not to that part yet. That's for if Kame-Sennin dies later. Spoilers. No, it's not true. Alright. So basically he just starts plucking away with it slowly, and he basically says, well, you know the routine. Sit in a comfortable position. Deep breath in and deep breath out. In through the nose and out through the mouth.
So it's fighting. I just,
Let your mind relax and go blank. Let your body go numb to the world, and let all your troubles cast away as you set yourself adrift into the space above. And as he's sort of like slowly talking, you can kind of feel the weight of the world just kind of leave your body as the oneness of your soul ebbs outward. And as you're sitting there with your legs crossed and hands together, you can sort of feel the lifeline of your soul weave itself around your body in a sort of lattice or cape and everything. And as the world sort of sinks around you, you find yourself in this colorful prism of lights, stars, and clouds. And you open your eyes again, and you are within the astral plane. And looking around, the prisms show flashes of memories and dreams that you've had, some good, some bad. Behind you, where the turtle, the lion turtle statue was, now rests the Nyarlathotep, strung up and tied, bound in your lifeline. It doesn't really seem to react to your presence. It's just sort of kind of like not struggling anymore. It's just kind of like sitting there patiently waiting for something to happen.
and like, what is it looking like?
It's looking like basically it's looking like the drawing I showed you, but sort of tied up and laced in a sort of like gold, silvery gold thread. And to clarify, that is your lifeline. It's basically tied up in the same way that you have your lifeline tied around you. But it's tied.
Okay.
It's tied up in a way that it can't move. Yours is basically like a netted cape that is draped over your body.
I'm just trying to think what that is good. I just don't want to go, sup, fucker.
You can
I'm just gonna go, like, hello. Just a little.
and
Let me test the waters. Let me read the room.
all right. And at your point of hello, it slowly tips its head forward at you. It doesn't say anything, it's just kind of looking. You know it's looking directly at you now.
Okay, I have its attention. I'll be honest with you, I didn't think I would get this far. I think the first thing I'm gonna say is like you who are connected to me, are you still connected to others?
It kind of like slowly nods its head.
Is there any visual indication to its connection
There's
to
no
other people, or just to me?
There's no real visual connection. You just know it just has the same thread that's connected to you.
Can you show me then?
It's kind of it tilts its head in confusion, almost as if it's like, what do I get if I show you?
Are you all here, or are you in a different place?
Alright, and then at that question, you can see him like actually try to like flex his ethereal body, and when he does that, the luminescent silver cord on his body actually gets brighter and constricts him a little bit.
Okay. I see what we're working with here. I am searching for one that is connected to you.
that is like me in body, but definitely not in mind. I'm searching for, I really hope I don't botch this name, Madame Tourmalin. Do you know where she is?
And it's just sort of, it tilts its head to the side again, and then kind of like looks forward past you towards the prisms.
Is there anything in the prisms?
You walk up to the prisms, and you notice that it's showing memories of something that are not your own memories. Do you take a look closer?
I think. Yeah, let's just take a look closer. Yeah.
All right, that's going to be a wisdom check.
Uh-oh. I'll take that 16.
All right, 16. All right, so you're looking in there, and you're actually seeing a new perspective. When you think back to the moment of when you were undergoing the ritual effects, it's always like from your perspective of this like very harsh thrashing pain and people scrambling all around you to try and hold you down and get you some form of relief through care and treatment. This time you're seeing it from the outside. You are physically seeing your body thrash on the table as the Brotherhood of the Waves paladins try to come all around you and start doing consecration spells to try and help you calm down and fight the creature. And then as you're sort of like looking there, the prism lattice sort of disappears, and you now find yourself amongst an array of other Nyarlathotep, just watching this happen. And then from the back you see Madame Tourmalin disappear into her little escape tunnel area.
Is my Nyarlathotep still there?
Your Nyarlathotep is there too. It's struggling against the paladins as they're trying to attack it.
And then can I try to make out what sort of tunnel this could be, or what sort of idea of like a location from this tunnel that she exited from?
The tunnel was hidden just behind a crate. They had put a few little boards and tarps around there to make it look less like an obvious escape hatch. But as she's going down, as you're sort of looking at it, you notice that one of the Nyarlathotep are looking at something else while this is happening. Like, all of the others are focused on the event of you getting your a demon sealed away, whereas one specific Nyarlathotep is looking off to the side somewhere else. So
Okay.
I'm gonna give you two choices. You can either go down the tunnel, or you can look to see what that Nyarlathotep is staring at.
I'm gonna look to see what that Nyarlathotep is staring at.
Alright, so you look off in a direction and you see another prism glass that is just showing what looks to be a sea of sorts, like a rolling coastal beach.
Oh my god. The flare sea. I know this one.
Alright. So, now, do you want to look at the next prism glass, or do you want to go down the tunnel?
Let's look at the sea.
Alright, so you walk up to the new prism glass, and you're going to be another wisdom check to peer into it.
Let me make a note quick and then I'll do that. Secret tunnel. And secret tunnel. Wisdom. I'm gonna re-roll that. Perfect. 18.
18, you say? So you kind of peer into it, and the smell of like fresh, salty beach air hits you pleasantly. And then the prism glasses turn back, and you're now on the beach with one of the Nyarlathotep, and he is watching as your mother actually is standing there as well, just looking off into the distance at what you can assume looks like an ivory tower that is just shimmering upon the horizon.
Oh, that sounds really. Why did it just make that noise? Oh, enter does it. Okay, Ivory Tower. Interesting. Damn you, player knowledge. Me trying to draw strings, but Nora doesn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Your mother is
Do I recognize this Nilothet? Could it possibly be mine? Or was mine back at the thing?
As far as you can tell, most of the Nyarlathotep look the same. They don't really have very distinguishing features about them. They just kind of look like a massive eldritch abomination. But your mother, you can actually like see her, and she looks like she is just about 3 months pregnant, just sort of cradling her belly as she just like looks at this tower intently.
Interesting.
And then, so you can either go back to the ritual room, or you can try to get closer to your mother, or you can look at the tower, because there's another prism glass leading to it.
Let's look at the tower.
Okay.
Because I feel like if I try to contact my mother, that's going to be bad news bears. That's going to go all wrong. So we're going to stay away from her.
Okay, so getting close, kind of like stepping your way closer towards the tower, ethereally. Yeah, you get to the prism glass again, and this one, you don't have to roll a wisdom save again, because the events in it are actually very clearly visible. You can see what looks to be a ritual site as a group of people are taking a sphere of swirling kind of greenish liquid and placing it within 2 metal domes in the center of a circle.
This is oddly familiar.
And as you're sort of like peering in deeper, you feel a presence behind you as the Nyarlathotep from the beach is now standing next to you looking into the prism.
I'm gonna do probably the stupidest thing on the planet. I'm gonna slowly take my hand, I'm gonna put it in front of its face, and I'm gonna kind of wave it like, are you like here right now with me, dude?
And then when you basically just like hop up and go, and then it looks down at you directly.
I just, what's up? And I continue back to what we're looking at.
Alright, so as you're looking at it, you notice that they don't look like the same cultists that were a part of your mother's group. They look like an entirely different form of people that are kind of just ritualistically placing this sphere into the center of those domes and in the center of the large circle of I'm forgetting, the word is escaping me, but rings that sort of like tip up and around in a gyroscopic sort of thing. And as you're sort of looking intently, you actually noticed a few more Nyarlathotep standing on the outer edges of the ring. The people in the place don't seem to notice them, but you can kind of get a sense that the Nyarlathotep are drawn to whatever that center thing is. And now I'm going to give you the option of you can either step into the chamber, or you can what's it called? You can go back to the beach.
Let's step into the chamber.
All right. So stepping into the chamber, you can see there are this place is like almost freshly built. It looks like it looks like it was freshly made to house this sphere of liquid. And then you're looking around, you see vast murals and carvings of octopodian dragons and other sort of like Lovecraftian creatures that you don't quite recognize but kind of fit the bill for some of the Nyarlathotep, which are now, as soon as you step in, they're all now looking directly at you.
Okay. Can I investigate the drawings, or the murals?
Alright, so the murals, additionally to the octopodian dragons, you see, what looks to be a very casual man approaching them with a herald of minotaurs, and it appears to be depicting a ceremony of sorts, a crowning ceremony, that shows this man getting adorned and anointed by the, I'm just going to call them Cthulhu creatures because that's what they look like, and I'm not going to say Octopodian dragons all the time. And then after the consecration thing, you see various depictions of this newly crowned king just sort of exerting his will upon the world around him, spreading out from a very clear map that looks like the Flayer Sea out into the rest of the domain of the Grand Continent. And then the final mural you see depicts what looks to be the sky on fire, as the Octopodian dragons are raising up and sailing away in these floating ships. Meanwhile, the king of sorts stays behind and in sort of a crumbling kingdom, so to speak.
The liquid core, is that still in the middle?
It's still in the middle, and all of the cultists and religious folk have left the room. While you were there, they didn't seem to notice you either.
I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna investigate that orb.
All right. So as you sort of step in closer, you get past the first concentric ring, which actually, as soon as you do that, you hear a vast array of like whispers going that all kind of stop as soon as you turn back to look, and you can surmise that it came from the Nyarlathotep. They were kind of like conversing for a few seconds.
He's going in for the play. It's like, what? I'll take one step closer.
Alright, so you get closer and you start to notice another prism section, kind of like around the crystal orb itself. This looks like it could be another memory portal.
Is that one Nyarlathotep still with me?
No, that one seemed to stay outside of the last portal you went into.
Oh man, I wanted a friend. Yeah, let's go into it then.
Alright, so you go into it, and you are immediately thrust into a battle of sorts. You're not fighting, you just see a room full of treasure and a broken sarcophagus as this big, brawny, like oily black bull is thrashing around and attacking what look like 3 random adventurers.
Son of a bitch.
And looking around you, you see there is a dead corpse by the broken sarcophagus. You see what looks to be a roguish character kneeling down behind a treasure pile, tossing daggers at the black bull as it's sort of like swinging an axe around. There is what looks to be a yellow tiefling with horns, casting thunder and sonic booms at this creature. There's also, similarly to the Brotherhood of the Waves, a paladin, but not the same. He appears to be adorned with a sun crest on his shield and a sword that he just is hacking away at the creature. And while all of this is happening, you kind of look up to the tops of the room, and you see more Nyarlathotep just intently watching this as this goes down.
Oh shit, okay. Okay. I'm trying to take that in now. Is there any other memory portals nearby, or see, because I'm trying not to use player knowledge. Yeah, is there any other portals nearby?
There is one more memory portal, basically kind of like where the bull is thrashing around.
I am going to... How about, let me observe the battle, and let me see where it goes, because I don't know if my link is totally... I'm not going to get my shit rocked in it. So, I'm going to sit myself up on a nearby object that I could kind of use as a chair, and I'm going to observe this battle and watch these people fight.
Alright, so you're gonna... So you sit down and you watch as the fight rages on. The axe smashes... The Black Bull Minotaur smashes his axe into the ground, snaps it in half on the backswing. The rogue just sort of throws more daggers that kind of like either bounce off or stick into his skin and slowly dissolve due to his like acidic body. And meanwhile, you see the paladin just sort of futzing around with a strange magic wand that you're not really familiar with. And then the Black Bull just sort of punches the ground, sending like black spikes everywhere. The paladin gets caught in the spikes, but his armor and everything just sort of like snap them, and he seems relatively fine. The tiefling sends another shockwave that stuns and stops the bull from attacking for 1 second, and then the paladin just sort of walks up to the bull and places the pistol square in its face. You don't know it's a pistol, that's player knowledge.
I literally typed into my notes, what's a gun?
Yeah, he places he points the wand directly at the bull's face, and you can see that the wand is just ebbing with like this solar fire. As, hey Thomas, help me out here. What did you say at the end of the Flare C campaign? I forgot. I forgot to write it down.
Let's do a little retcon, and feel like we get the director. I'm like, I don't fucking. I think it was probably something on the lines of just like eat this, or no, I probably did something like by the power of soul, like get fucked or something.
All right, so for a failure of writing down a failure of what's it called, posthumously writing this down, you hear the paladin say, by the power of soul, get fucked. Wait, no, that's not his voice. I can't do a wow, and then you just and then at the click of a large flash, a firebolt, what looks like a firebolt, just tears a hole through the bull's face, and the memory itself just sort of gets fractured and shattered as the bull, as the prism glass where the bull was gets a huge hole shot through it by the wand. And then you actually notice that everything in the memory is sort of frozen. And then one of the Nyarlathotep just kind of like steps forward. And then it's now examining the fracture in the memory.
Joe, like, considering the fact that all these events happen, I haven't got hurt yet, and just trying to tread that thin line, I'm going to kind of jokingly kind of see where this takes me. I'm gonna walk up to the Nyarlathotep and go, I'm like,
what you looking at, buddy? Did you find anything?
Alright, and then it kind of looks down at you, and then it looks back up at the prism, and it's now reaching into the hole, and it's pulling out what looks to be a glowing shard of the memory, and it's now presenting it to you.
I'm gonna gently take it. I'm gonna do a little bow, and then let's see what this memory has.
Alright, so when you take it, the previous memory sort of like fades away, and you're now back within that central prism area, where your original Nyarlathotep was.
Is he still there?
No, he's still there, sorry.
Okay.
Phrasing.
Congrats, you broke it out. Nice try. No. Cruel DM.
I'm not that cruel.
I know.
I don't even like it.
So are you now looking back into looking at the memory shard itself, or are you going to try to like question the other Nyarlathotep?
I'm gonna do, before looking into it, I'm gonna kind of do a little like waving motion with it.
Like, did you know anything about this?
And it just sort of nods its head.
Oh, perfect. And I'm just looking into it.
All right, wisdom check.
Wisdom. 21.
21. Okay, so as you're peering into it, you kind of feel the memory. The memory fragment get brighter and brighter in your face, and very vividly you start getting a rapid fire of events.
It's a good intersect.
Alright, you hear, I cast sleep at 5th level, and then you hear, it's like,
Oh!
no, it's like, alright, Volpe, do the thing, and then you don't see visually what's happening, it's just a lot of, like, white noise and everything. It's like, alright, let's get out of here, come on, start running. And then you hear, like, footsteps scramble, and all of a sudden you hear, oh, what happened, where did they go? They took off, hold on. And then sounds of a portal ripping through reality. And it's just more like sounds of conflict and screaming. It's like, where is it? What did you do with it? I need to know. Oh, and then you hear another voice say, it's in the ethereal plane. It's safe. And that's enough. And then you hear the sound of a thunder shot, as well as the sound of like a ripping mortar and stone and stuff like that. And then towards the end of the memory, it just kind of flashes you back to the prism area.
I'm gonna take a second to like take all that in. Did I see where everyone like ended up after that? Where all these characters ended up?
So you didn't really see where the characters ended up. You basically just you saw where they had their battle, and then it's just kind of like a rapid fire of flashing images of people like running and escaping, and people fighting and brawling, as well as like those little snippets of dialogue you heard from there.
I think what I'm gonna do is taking all this in. I'm gonna look to my Nalathot. I think I'm ready to leave wherever this is and ask Zenon kind of questions maybe about it. So I'm gonna give a little bow to the Nalathot, and then I'm gonna somehow break this link.
Alright, so you go ahead and just, give your little bow to the bound creature. It doesn't really bow back, it just kind of like rests its head to a 1,000-yard stare. Meanwhile, you sort of just let yourself become more aware of your surroundings. You come out of that meditative state, and slowly, as you're coming out of this meditative state, you hear the sounds of like marching and stuff like that. As you're coming forward, you start hearing more dialogue, similar sounding to the goblins that were around the beginning. You actually hear is like, I wonder, is she alive? She hasn't really moved for like a few hours. It's like, I don't know, poke her again. And then you feel like very faintly the poke of a stick on one of your limbs and stuff like that. And as you're coming back more forward, you hear, I wouldn't do that if I were you. It's like, I know who's gonna stop us. There's only 2 of you, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hundreds of us. And then you hear Kame-Senin say, son, I am 999 years old. I don't give a fuck how many of you there are. And it's like, we wouldn't be here if you would just give us the beer. And I told you that there is... The beer isn't ready yet, and I will give it to you when it is. And then you sort of like come back, you open your eyes, and there's like a good like dozen or so goblins just sort of like scrambling around, like searching for stuff. There's like a couple of them trying to break into the beer thing over here.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm fully like awake now at this point, right?
Yes, you're basically just kind of sitting there looking.
I'm gonna keep pretending that I'm still asleep, and the next time, because at this point this is gonna be an engagement.
Yep.
I think what I'm gonna do is the next time I get poked, I'm gonna grab the arm of that goblin, grapple him, and grapple him. Let's just start with that.
Okay. So as you're sort of getting ready for the next poke, it's like you
And I
hear
do
one.
have
You hear
bonus action, but
you hear one of the goblins sort of scream, "How do you open these doors, Turtle?" It's like, "Turtle, but it's a door. I mean, there's not a lock on it. You just have to open it like you would a door. Your tricks don't harbor us." And then you feel another poke.
then I go for the grab.
Okay. Let's go ahead and hang on. Grappling is you have to roll a strength check to do it, I believe.
Okay.
Hello?
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay. What was the check for?
Oh, sorry. Let me just grab that. I thought you were just double checking to make sure it was 16.
16. Okay, so you grabbed a stick and it's like, you brought him closer and now you have him in a headlock and he's going, oh god, help!
And then I'm gonna take a bonus action, and I'm just gonna let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna unarmed strike, just like slap this shit out of his head.
Alright, so you go ahead and slap and he's go like, yeah, and he's now unconscious. He's unconscious, but one of the goblins go, oh my god, she killed him! And we're gonna go ahead and roll initiatives now.
I wouldn't think kill, I just... Well, you guys are becoming pests. You pests.
Oh shit! Hold on, that's the wrong. Even though it was a really good initiative. Yeah, I'm gonna re-roll that. Wait, can I re-roll initiative or no? Let's make sure.
Unless it specifies in your thing, I'm pretty sure you can't.
Nope. So that was, and then it disappeared too fast. That was 14. That was another goblin. That was another goblin. That was another.
Do you have your roll?
14.
14, okay. Trying to apply swarm rules here. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. Alright, so as this goblin is now
The devil went down to Georgia and he was looking for a soul to steal.
not quite the same, but alright, so this goblin is unconscious in your hands now, and then Kame Sennin just goes like, well, I guess that's my cue, and he takes his mandolin and just fucking chucks it and hits and tries to hit one of the goblins. For a 16, wow, good job, Turtle, and it's just fucking and it shatters against his face and he's now on the ground unconscious.
It's old good old tavern brawl.
Alright, and then Goblin Group A. We're gonna do these in stages here, so it's gonna be kind of a thing. So Goblin Group A is gonna try to attack you here. With a 5, I'm assuming that's not going to do shit.
Let me double check here with an armor class of 18. No.
Alright, so Goblin Group A just sort of like descends upon you and they're swinging their clubs around there and you just kind of like up, dodges like literally no effort. And it is now your turn.
I am going to... Again, just doing some learning stuff here. I'm trying to see if... Do you know if Flurry of Blows can be used among... And this might just be a rule that would be up to your jurisdiction, but can I just use Flurry of Blows on all of them?
Yes, because I'm treating them as like a group entity, so Flurry of Blows would attack all
So,
of them.
so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm still holding the other one, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna just kind of like toss him off to the side, and with that toss, I'm gonna redirect that hand and just full on smack one of the goblins with an unarmed strike.
Okay.
Would a 23 hit?
23 is definitely gonna hit.
Okay, the damage is 7.
7, okay. And then, do you have another unarmed
I got
strike?
another attack for action. So
Okay.
two attacks for action, and I'm just gonna then take my other hand. Well, yeah, I'm gonna take my other hand and then just smack another goblin. Does a 24 hit?
A 24 will hit. What's the damage?
9.
9? Okay, so you swing the goblin around and this guy lands over here and you go with the swiftness of the wind.
Yeah.
And then these guys are now unconscious. Because I'm assuming you're not going for kills, are you?
No.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna take a. Actually, you finish your thing. I just have a bonus action though.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So you go, and like they fall over, down unconscious, and like the goblin right here is just kind of looking. It's like, what just happened?
And then that poor goblin, he did not want to wake up today. Let me tell you, because I'm gonna use flurry of blows. And does a 14 hit?
Yeah. So okay, 14's not going to hit this guy.
Oh, I'm just gonna start like flailing my fists.
All right, so
an anime.
all right, so and then like surprisingly enough, this guy is now aware of like, oh this girl's got hands, and he's now just and he's panicking as he's just trying to dodge each of your fists. All right, now for goblin groups.
Shoot.
Now for this goblin group, so these guys are going to run up on your master here, and it might look like they have him in a bad position, but we shall see with a nat fucking 1.
Let's go.
So, as you're sort of beating the shit out of these guys, Kame-Sennin just goes like, and then he just found it, and with the swiftness of Master Oogway fighting the fucking, the river bison from the second Kung Fu Panda just effortlessly dodges all of their attacks to the point that they hit each other. And let me roll something here. Okay, so one of them jabs a
That's pretty
spear
profound.
forward and like catches their friend in the face. The spear doesn't stab into them because their weapons are shit, and it just kind of knocks him unconscious. Another guy just hits his other friend over here, and he's unconscious now. And next, the final group goblins, they're just kind of like repositioned to make sure you guys can't get away down here. Okay, back up the turtle, back up to the turtle, to Kame-Sennin. I rolled.
Let's say the turn order to the turtle.
Alright. Nat 10, he's just gonna like, and he's just sort of like, he comes back up and he just kind of like, he's more playfully fighting with the goblins now. He's just sort of like pushing his hands about and they're just sort of like, oh god, they're just dodging him. And meanwhile, Goblin Group A, this poor guy's gonna try to attack you again with a 6, that ain't doing anything. And he just kind of like hits you with the side of his spear as his spear just sort of like twing and bounces off of it.
I'm gonna take his. Oh, I actually won. Whatever. It's my turn.
Sorry, it is your turn now. That was his turn.
Okay. Sorry, I'm quick on the draw. I'm gonna take that spear. I'm literally just gonna rip it out of his hands and just bonk him on the head.
Okay, so for the action of ripping out of his hands, that will be a strength check.
Okay. Uh-oh, 3.
3, okay, so you... it's like two toddlers doing tug-of-war. It's like, give it! So, unfortunately, you can't bonk him on the head with it, but you still have your, like, bonus action, right?
I do have my bonus action. I'm gonna, since I can't quite rip it out of his hands, I'm actually gonna just do one final big pull forward, and then take my other fist and just bob him like his friends.
Okay, go ahead and roll the hit.
Oh, actually? No, I'm not gonna bob him like his friends. I'm gonna try to pull on the stick forward. I'm gonna try to slam my knee into him.
Okay.
Does 26 hit?
26 will definitely hit. As you sort of bring him forward, go... and he's just like, ugh, and he's now on the ground holding his... Actually, what was the damage for that?
9.
9, okay. Yeah, so he's on the ground, just kind of like knocked out and winded. He's not moving. Alright, so at this point, your Goblin Group A is taken care of. I believe you still have your movement action if you wanted to use that.
I'm going to... Let's see. How big is my move? Oh my gosh, I'm blind. Where's my movement? 40. There we go. I'm going to then... So this wall right here along the edge, how tall is that?
So where you're standing, you're level with it, but it is a 5-foot drop.
A 5-foot drop. Oh, that's fine. Let me grab my ruler. Can I launch so can I run forward and launch myself onto the, like, off, like, right here?
With an acrobatics check, yes.
Alright, I'd like to do that.
Alright.
Acrobatics. You would not believe... You should see my character sheet sometime. I rolled a 27.
Alright, so basically, you get to the edge of here and you do, like, a springboard, and I'm gonna go ahead and give this guy a chance to... Nope, nat 1, and you just find out, like, fucking... you land on him like a crash pad, and this guy is now unconscious. Oh, that's the wrong person.
I turned myself unconscious.
Oh no.
By my sheer fucking awesomeness.
Alright, so, yeah, now you're on the ground lower level here, and I believe that is your turn. So, Goblin, Group, blah blah. Alright, so, same thing as, shit, I did not number these guys. So yeah, we'll say this...
Gary, John, Jordan, Jacob.
Alright, so we'll say Goblin Group 2 is going to try to attack Kame-Senin again, and he's just not having it. They're trying to, like, stab him in the hard part of his very thick shell, and it just, their sticks are breaking against it. It's like tink, 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 shatter. It's like, fuck! Goblin Group B is going...
Just us at the bars?
Goblin Group B is, some of them are going to try to attack you. And I'm assuming a 10 is definitely not going to hit you.
No.
Alright, so once again, it's like you're just fluently dodging and weaving across all of their pokey sticks.
Okay, is it my turn?
Yes, it is. Actually, wait. No, it is Kame-Senin's turn, so he's gonna try to... 19, okay, with the precision and swiftness, he just sort of like... and pokes a couple of these guys out, and he's going to do... This guy is now unconscious, and this guy is now unconscious, so Goblin Group B is at... Sorry, Goblin Group C is out of commission.
Let's go.
And then he's going to take his movement just to go 5 feet down the staircase. He's like, well, boys, I think you're at the end of your rope. Do you want to give up now? And one of them shouts, never! And he just very lazily chucks a rock at him that lands like 2 feet in front of him. Now it is your turn.
Let's see here. Trying to have some fun. Oh, I used Sphere of Blows wrong. Technically, that's 1 key point down.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you fix it after the fact, it should be fine.
Yeah, it's all part of learning this character.
Yep.
What I want to do is I want to take one of these goblins by the foot and smash them like across their friend group. Actually, can I take the unconscious one and then just try to use him as a whip to whip them all down?
Sure. I'm gonna say that's a strength check to hoist him up by his ankles and whip him around like a towel.
Please, please. Oh, nat 20, baby.
Nat 20. Okay, you definitely do that. So go ahead and roll an attack to try and hit the group of goblins.
That'll be a 26.
26. Yeah, that's definitely hitting. Go ahead and I guess roll damage.
9.
9. Yeah, so basically just like crack, 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 and all of these 3 guys are just now on the ground.
And then, since I'm kind of done and dusted here, I'm gonna hop over the bodies and go help Senin.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna hop over, just run 30 feet.
It's like, and he just kind of looks up at you. Oh, hello, Nora. I see you're done with your meditation.
Oh yeah. It was nice. I have some things to discuss after dealing with.
And I just look at the rest of the goblins still awake.
This.
It's like, jolly good. And then, like, the goblins now move in for their, like, final wave of attacks. Hang on, this guy's fate.
This is where I use my Biden blast.
This guy's... Alright, so... I'm assuming an 18 also will not hit you, because...
18 matches.
Matches. Okay, so in the past I've ruled that that we need to cross the threshold in order for it to actually hit, but according to the official rules, if it meets, it beats, so we're gonna say that does hit.
Okay.
Alright, so, 1 second. I lost my die. Where the fuck did it go? Alright, so you take 6 damage as one of the goblins sort of jam their spear forward, and it just sort of like pokes you just kind of in the leg area, and is like, it doesn't hurt
How much,
too...
sorry? I missed the number.
You take 6 damage as one of the goblins actually gets a fairly decent like poke with you from their spear.
Do I have any... What's my reaction? Yeah, it's just deflect missiles.
Sorry, it's just a
So,
what?
no, I'm just looking at my reactions. Sorry.
Okay.
It's my turn?
Yes. Actually, no, it's Kame Senin's, and he's gonna... So
Okay.
he's like, oh no, that's not good. I'll have to get my sewing kit out, as he very lazily just kind of pushes his fist forward and just like, just very stiffly knocks one of the other goblins out.
2-inch punch.
Yeah, and then it's now your turn.
Is the goblin that is stabbing me, is he still up
He's
and kicking?
He's right here.
I'm just gonna snap my head to him and go, ow! And then just reel back my... Actually, I'm gonna do the same thing as Senin, and I'm gonna do like a 2-inch punch where I'm gonna try to put my fingers just against his chest and boom!
Alright.
Does 21 hit?
21 is definitely gonna hit, as you sort of like line up your fingers like Bruce Lee to do how much damage?
10.
10 damage. Okay, yeah, it's just like... and he just sort of very weakly crumples down. It's like, oh, that's very good form, Kame-sen, just sort of compliments you.
And do a little bow.
And wow, upon being very weak, these goblins have shit rolls, as one of them, as they just keep like trying, as soon as, when Kame-sen turns around to compliment you, that's when they decide to stab him in the back where his shell is the thickest and most protective. Alright, so Kame-sen's turn now is like, I was like, here Nora, I'll go get the sewing kit, so you go ahead and finish up here, and as he's leaving, and unfortunately he's not going to take the disengage action. But the goblins roll fucking 2 again, I guess. And then he just kind of gets away with, like, not much damage to him, and he's walking back to his shack now. Alright, now it's you with the final 2 goblins.
I gotta think of something creative. I think... I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to grab the 2 heads of the goblins that are still awake and try to smash them together.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna call that a grapple check, so it's gonna be a strength check to see if you can pull it off.
16.
16. Yeah, okay, that works. So you just kind of like, a la Three Stooges, go like, clink. Go ahead and roll damage for those.
That's like the max, 11.
11? Okay, yeah, so there, you go, dink, and then they just kind of fall down comedically. And with that, you have cleared the goblin encounter, and Kame-Sennin comes back out with his sewing kit and a few bandages. It's like, thank you for your help, Nora. Here, and he just kind of like you sit down on the steps here, and he just sort of like starts tending to your stab wound.
Thank you, Sennin. That was a incredible alarm clock.
Yeah, these poor boys. I gave them some of my barley ale a long time ago, and they can't get enough of it. It's a shame, rather. Their addiction is kind of leading them down dark paths.
I've seen worse.
But I will say, they are industrious little guys. Every other week they come with some weird new way to try and take their beer. Honestly, this is their...
this time?
Well, this was their least creative way. They just couldn't figure out how to open the door. Like, there were enough of them to distract me to go and get it, but they just... Again, they just couldn't open the door. I'm honestly flabbergasted.
Well, then they don't deserve the beer.
Maybe not. Maybe not. And then, like, you're now fully healed because of turtle magic. And he's now...
Smack.
And he's now, like, working on sewing the rip in your pants. So, what did our friend have to say?
Alright, so let me fill you in. Our friend, who was nice, but, you know, shouldn't probably just a demon, led me down a path of certain memories. One was the banishment of him, or, no, wait, hold on. One was, like, yeah, the banishment of her or something, you know, one was, like, a demon in there in my mind and stuff. But one key memory stuck out to me, and that was of an ivory tower out in the sea. And the ivory tower, it looked like not only was somewhere where my mother visited while probably pregnant with me, but also it was also the place of a conflict. And it was hard to get a sense of timing with it, but it was interesting. All the Neanderthal, the Nyes or whatever, I gotta think of a nickname for those things. Essentially, we're there at a specific event where there was this orb and there was this goo in it. It was green. It was weird. But then I flashed to a memory of 3 adventures fighting a bull. One was more like a rogue. One was one was a tiefling with yellow skin, and one of them a paladin that was very fucking bright. but it looked like something that happened more recently rather than the other events of, say, the orb and stuff being placed there. And the connection to the Nyes is just, well, it's curious.
Do you think that orb might be a source of influence on your mother? Or do you think the Nyai are trying to trick you somehow?
I mean, they were pretty kind. I guess I shouldn't, you know, trust everyone, you know. The name goes with it, Mellowheart. But you know, I guess we call it a lead. I think that my mother was trying to possibly get in contact with that orb. And it's probably not good. I don't think that's good.
Well, just to remind you, the astral plane is a coalescence of dreams and memory from everyone on the grand continent. And there's no real sense of time or space there. They could be using fragments of memories to try and build something out to get you to do their bidding, because the ritual was failed. If you do plan to pursue that line of memory, you should be cautious and be careful upon the characters you meet later on. But as of right now, that is the best direction that I can see given the context of where you might be able to find your mother.
Well then,
And I stand up and I gotta dust myself off.
do you know the location of this tower?
That I'm afraid I'm not sure. If I could guess, you might just have to go down to one of the shore towns and hitch a ride on a boat going off into the sea.
Then I guess that's where I'm heading.
It was lovely seeing you again, Nora, and I wish you well on your journey. And as he sort of reaches into his pocket and he hands you a flask of beer. Here, savor every drop, and make sure to share it with good company.
Adding item, flask of beer.
Flask of Kame-sen's special beer.
I'll just say flask of beer.
Yeah.
Crap, go on inventory.
It's gonna have to be a custom item because I haven't made the things for it.
Perfect. I give him a little bow.
Thank you for everything. And could you point me in the direction of the town?
Oh, just follow the road, but instead of coming from where you went, take a right, and that should lead you to one of the shore villages nearby. Lovely little place, great like fried fish down there. And then you kind of like nod at him, but you realize, wait, aren't turtles supposed to be vegetarians?
With that thought in mind, there's a little like scrunch on my nose of like, what the hell? and I start making my way, I guess, which is, I'm guessing, back the way I came.
All right, so we'll say, yeah, we'll call that the end of the sort of like session here. As you sort of make your way back towards the town, you eventually find passage on a ship that brings you out into the sea with the intent to find one of the towers and stuff like that. And then we'll say you'll eventually come to where the next campaign will start, in the Brotherhood of the Waves. So,
Yeah!
alright, so, what did you think?
Oh, that was fun.
Okay.
It's gonna be interesting to learn Monk, but excited. I like the setup.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording here.